All right, we welcome you into this Wednesday edition of the Hometown Sports Huddle here on WDBJ 7 Plus. Hi, everybody. Dave Walls here. Apologize for being a few minutes late starting. I had to work out some of the technical glitches here, but we got it all up and running now, so we are looking forward to a good show today. A couple things we wanted to look at today. First thing is, and honestly, it's my first experience with it, which I'm really excited about. It's the 42nd annual Scott Robertson Memorial Tournament that takes place in Roanoke this weekend, and it's been very exciting watching these youth golfers come in over the last 2 days, getting ready for the tournament that begins on Friday. And 42nd annual year of this tournament that really aims to bring in some of the best youth golfers in the country. 38 states will be represented along with 6 foreign countries. It's a really exciting tournament. And, there's been a lot of famous alumni who have passed through there. Some names, if you look at the winner board, you're going to go, oh, I remember him when he won the Masters or the U.S. Open, or some of the female golfers who are out there now getting it done as well. So this tournament is really exciting to, learn about, watch, and see all the competition that's going to take place over the next 3 days. Now, I had a chance to speak with John Newton, who is the tournament chair of the Scott Robertson Memorial Tournament, and he was telling me a little bit about, what golfers can look forward to this weekend. Also, his thoughts on, what this course is going to hold. Now, this, again, is a raw interview, so you'll see little jumps here and there as, we take little parts of it out there just to make it better for you to watch. But John talked about, again, what the course holds, what this tournament holds, and really more about the mission that this tournament has, which benefits First Tee of Roanoke Valley, which aims to make golf more accessible for youth and to teach them character that'll help them later in life, which I think is a great cause. So here's more from John Newton, the tournament chair of the Scott Robertson Memorial Tournament.
Yeah, so this is the 42nd year. The tournament started in 1984. Mr. Tom Robertson, who was the CEO of what's now Carillion, started the tournament to memorialize his son Scott, who passed away from a disease, and he started this to memorialize him, and it's just been going on now. This will be the 42nd year, and we're just trying to carry on the tradition and continue to strive for the excellence that he would want. Then Thursday, big practice round day, and then long drive contests that evening for the kids from 5 to 7, and that's going to be an event. Chick-fil-A's feeding them. And we've got a little special presentation, some words from Mike Brennan, who is PGA Tour winner and won our 2019 Scott Robertson. So we're really going to treat the kids right. So we have 180 kids playing in the actual tournament. We have a 14 and under boys and girls and a 15 to 18 boys and girls. And the boys 15 to 18 is currently ranked 14th in the whole United States, and the girls are ranked 19th. So we have some of the top kids in the nation coming in, the number 6 boy, the number 12 girl, and then in the top 50 and the top 100, it's really just kind of mind-boggling. 32 states and 6 countries are being represented. So this is not only a community event which benefits the First Tee of Roanoke, but it's a world event. Mr. Robertson actually started the First Tee with another group of folks 20 years ago, actually. We celebrated 20 years last year. And our proceeds from this event benefit the First Tee, which obviously we have all kinds of kids coming, but if a kid cannot afford to come, we pay for them. There's no fee. We want to teach the children the values of golf, which is the integrity, the sportsmanship, really making them better life citizens. If they happen to be good golfers, that's wonderful, but that's not really the mission. It's pretty special. I mean, we have a 9-hole series from the First Tee. Jennifer Blackwood's our executive director for the First Tee, and started a 9-hole series, which the kids, you can have a kid that's never been to a country club and they're going to Hidden Valley or they're going to run a country club. And that's pretty special because a lot of kids would never have that opportunity. And, we're teaching in every single elementary school, all the Title I schools where the at-risk kids predominantly are, but all the kids. It's for every child in this area. And that's what's so great. And
that's great. Tell me a little bit about this course now for a young golfer. What some of the challenges they would have to look out for?
Yeah, I'm still a golfer. I'm an old golfer, but I still try to compete. But yeah, I played out here a week ago in a little tournament. The difficult thing about this course are the greens. Greens are beautiful, but they're fast. And right now they're a little hard from the lack of rain. And they all slope from front to back. From back to front. They all slope from back to front. So you really got to be careful with the greens, where you're hitting your approach shots, and if you miss a green, where are you going to leave it? So that's a difficult thing. There's a few holes you got to get by here that are kind of tight off the tee, but for the most part, it's into the greens and on the greens. That's the challenge.
So it's going to be a good test no matter what the age.
It's going to be a good test. I mean, I'm not if the greens don't soften up a little, it's going to be like a U.S. Open almost. But I would tell people, come out and watch these kids. I mean, last year was my first year chairing this event, and Tim Bobby was the chairman year before, and Debbie Ferguson was our tournament administrator for 21 years. So we have a rich history of people who've dedicated a lot of time to this. But it's going to be a difficult weekend for the kids unless these greens soften up a little bit. But boy, they can play. So people need to come out and watch these kids play. It's unreal.
All right, that's John Newton, the tournament chair of the Scott Robertson Memorial. Appreciate him giving me a couple minutes to talk about the tournament this weekend. And again, the greens, as he's mentioned, I was watching some of the practice holes, walking around with a few golfers yesterday, and boy, he wasn't kidding. Those greens are running real fast because of the dry weather we've been having. So, golfers are going to have to pay extra attention and be a little bit more careful on those greens to make sure they don't, putt them right off and go back into the rough or the fairway. So, again, talking about it, 3 days of golf, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, over at the Roanoke Country Club. And here, I'll put the graphic up one more time so you get some of the information. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now, they are going to have the long drive competition. That's tomorrow at 5 o'clock. So if you get off work a little early, you want to see some of the best youth golfers really go at it and just go for power. That'll be a really fun day. And then again, first round Friday. The cut is on Saturday. Yeah, there is a cut, just like the big tournaments. So not every golfer is going to make it to Sunday, and you're really going to get some of the elite out there. As far as some of the past winners, when you go to Roanoke Country Club, they have a big sign that'll tell you all the past men's, women's winners who have gone on to win, U.S. Opens, these kind of tournaments. Patrick Reed, of course, won the Masters a while back, and he is a past winner of the Scott Robertson Memorial. And like John said, 38 states represented, I should say, by this year's field, as well as 6 countries. So you are going to see some of the best when you come to the Scott Robertson Memorial. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about a little bit more of the other news items that are going on today. This is the Hometown Sports Huddle. We'll be right back. All right, we welcome you back to the Hometown Sports Huddle. Dave Walls here on this Wednesday afternoon. Now, Austin Hicks and Mitch Carr will have you over the next 2 days. I believe Austin's got a couple things planned for you tomorrow. Did want to let you know a couple things here. One, we've got Major League Baseball back on WZBJ 24 as the Washington Nationals are going to be in action from D.C. this Friday night as they take on the Baltimore Orioles. That's always a good I-95 series. Live action starts at 6:30 right on WZBJ 24. So if you're a Washington Nationals fan, or heck, you're just a Major League Baseball fan, you definitely want to look out for that. In fact, I went to 2 Nationals games last year. Both were against the Orioles, and I tell you what, the crowd in Washington gets loud and they get rowdy when it comes to the Nats and the O's. Or, you know, if you're a Baltimore fan, you gotta say the Nats and the O's. You got to put the O on it. So that should be a good one. Again, WZBJ 24, 6:30 this Friday night for live Washington Nationals baseball. All right, as we are looking down our roster here, so a couple things we are watching out for. So the NFL is set to release their schedules on Friday. On Thursday. What am I saying? On Thursday, they're going to be releasing their schedules for the 2026 season, but we're already getting some details leaking out, giving us little breadcrumbs to whet our appetite for as we will see who's playing who this upcoming year. But we know this today that we're going to get some more international games this year. Now, we already knew about the San Francisco 49ers and the LA Rams. They're taking place week 1. That's going to be at the Melbourne Cricket Grounds in Melbourne, Australia. That's a September 10th at 8:30 Eastern time. I wonder, I'm sure if I did the math in my head, I could figure out what time that is in Australia, but it's either going to be really late or really, really early in the day. That'll be interesting. But again, we've got multiple international games this year. Also, the Ravens and the Cowboys are going to Rio de Janeiro. They're playing at Maracanã Stadium in Rio. That's week 3, September 27th, a 4:25 game. That'll be right here on WDBJ and also on Paramount Plus. Scrolling down a little bit, the Washington Commanders are going to be playing in London this year. Week 4, they're playing at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where the Indianapolis and Washington are going to be playing. That's a 9:30 a.m. game. So if you are a Commanders fan, it's going to be an early morning for you. But fear not, because I'm going to be up early the next week, because right back at Tottenham Hotspur, my Philadelphia Eagles will go to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who really should just be having their mail sent to London by this point, because they've been in London so many times over the years. So they will be there as well. That's week 5, October 11th, a 9:30 a.m. start. So if I look a little groggy on air that day, you know why. All right. And also we got the news today about the Packers and Rams are going to be playing in the NFL's first ever Thanksgiving Eve game. We always know that the NFL loves getting the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving. You always get the Dallas Cowboys, and then you usually get some bonus game for the late one on NFL Network or somewhere else. But on Thanksgiving Eve now, we're going to get the Packers and the Rams. That's going to be a 8 p.m. game, and it's going to be on Netflix this year. Netflix getting a little bit more into the action. Quite frankly, they did a great job with the action last year, so that'll be interesting. All right, and so we had that. And then one other football item I wanted to bring up, and if I could pull it up, that would be great. It's a great local football game this weekend. This is the Roanoke Rampage team. Now, this team is made up of fire and police from our region. They play in a league that is entire fire, police, first responders, things like that, which is already great. They're holding their season finale this Saturday at Salem Stadium, 2 o'clock, and they're doing this game in honor of Autumn Bushman, who, as you well know if you're a viewer of WDBJ7, we've reported on extensively, was bullied and tragically lost her life. You can read more about that at WDBJ7.com. Kate Capodanno did a great series on that. We're talking with her parents. But this game was going to be held in Autumn's honor. There's going to be giveaways for kids, and the whole message is remembering Autumn, and then also teaching kids that you're loved, you are enough, to fight the power of bullying in this region, which I think is fantastic. The Roanoke Rampage in the Orange County Lawman. Tickets are $10. Again, this Saturday, 2 p.m., and we hope to have more with the Rampage on WDBJ later this week to help promote that. So, again, mark that on your calendar. Saturday, 2 p.m. at Salem Stadium, the Roanoke Rampage in a Play for a Purpose game in honor of Autumn Bushman. All right, one other sports note today as we get ready to wrap things up here on the Hometown Sports Huddle, because the World Cup is coming up around the corner, and I know there's not everybody is a soccer fan, but I love watching the World Cup. Whenever we get – I love watching the Premier League, I do, But since I'm not from Europe, it maybe doesn't interest me as much because I don't have a home team. If I had a home team or some sort of connection with it, maybe I would. But man, when it comes to the World Cup, when you start getting into soccer or football on an international level, yeah, I'm all in on that. And Team USA is looking to move forward with Christian Pulisic, who you'll know has been a hero in past World Cups and past international games. But he has been battling some injuries. Pulisic right now, he was a question mark to make the World Cup, which is in, 40 days or so. But he had missed some games with AC Milan. But it looks like he is back. He has been practicing with the team. Hoping to break out of a little bit of a scoring slump because of all these injuries. He hasn't scored, in fact, in his last 17 league matches, and he hasn't scored in his last 8 games for Team USA. So this would be a great time for him to get on the pitch a few times, maybe score a goal or two, start to get things in motion, because if Team USA wants to advance and move into the round of 16, they're going to need a healthy Christian Pulisic, I should say, but it looks like he is in good shape. He had a lower back injury for some time, and that really has hurt him as well. All right, what are we watching for tonight? We got NBA. We have the Cleveland Cavaliers and Detroit Pistons, which has been a really entertaining series. In fact, that was the one. Oh, let me pull it up here. Donovan Mitchell had 43 points, 39 of them in the second half of that game 4 just the other night. So that series is now tied up 2 games apiece. He actually tied an NBA playoff record. Actually could have broken it in the second half, but missed a shot late that would have done it. But Cade Cunningham has been everything so far in the postseason. He's averaging 24 points a game, 10 assists. He's averaging a double-double. I mean, what more could you want from him? But Mitchell, again, 43 points the other night. He's averaging 28 points so far this year on 48% shooting from the field. So this has turned into a really, really entertaining series because, again, Detroit was up 2-0. It looked to be rolling, and then you go to Cleveland, and Cleveland takes 2 in a row. So now we got Game 5 tonight. Late spread looks like it is a 4.5 points. Detroit is the favorite. So if that's means anything to you, there it is. But yeah, that should be interesting. Also, we have NHL playoffs tonight. The Minnesota Wild and the Avalanche of Colorado are looking to close out the series. They have a 3-1 lead in that one as well. And if you missed it on air tonight, the Hill City Howlers already have a 7-3 extra innings win at Wilson. The Salem Ridgejacks are just underway at Fredericksburg. That's going to do it for the Hometown Sports Huddle tonight. Appreciate you watching. Again, apologies for the late start. Had to trying to get that interview up and running, and just had to tweak it a little bit. But we appreciate you watching. We appreciate your time. And again, Austin Hicks will be here tomorrow, and then he'll be here on Friday as well. But we'll have you covered with the Scott Robertson Memorial and some playoff baseball over the weekend as the University of Lynchburg hosts their NCAA regional. Right now, they're the number 2 team in the nation. Thanks for watching the Huddle. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.